My friends, I wanted to come on and do a soul tribe reading as I always do every day. I know it's no news to you guys, but I wanted to come on and do a soul tribe reading. We were going to get to the seventh chapter of that book. We're on the seventh chapter already. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun with your friends, when you're soul tribing. I just wanted to thank you guys. Somebody left me, I love all your messages. I actually haven't gone through and looked at the comments from yesterday's reading, but this morning I did see one, and I don't want to single you out, Mark. I don't want to single you out, but I just want to say something. I really appreciated the message you sent this morning, or the comment that you left. You said something about, you hope that, I can't remember quite what it said. It was so beautiful. I screenshot it. I did show it to my partner. But you mentioned about how you hope that, my children and my partner know what a difference I'm making when I'm sacrificing my time. And I just wanted to tell you, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice to me. This is where my soul spark is. I just love soul tribe readings. I love you guys. And, I really do believe in what we're doing in the soul tribe readings, where we're talking about healing, looking at our cycles, all of those things. And, it's, for me, I found it easier, not easier, but it's been nice to have other people on the journey. We're all on the same journey, kind of walking the same paths, but not, together. But it's nice to have that comfort, that support. And again, healing is really important. And I'm very, I've been on my healing journey for almost 4 years now. I'm very serious about it. I take it very seriously. And like I said to you guys yesterday, reading through that, here are the 8 signs you're going through personal transformation. I was very happy to see that I'm experiencing some of those things, and I hope that you guys are as well, or you will be. I know that we're not all on the same level of journey. And then I had to tell you something else, because I was telling you guys about my soul purpose and how I was asking the universe, why? What's my soul purpose? And then I got an answer. So really funny. I already told one of my other soul tribe members about this. But I realized last year that I was having dreams. I actually started talking about my dreams this year on my Patreon. Right now my Patreon's not up. It will be again, but I have it on vacation mode just because I was busy this summer with my kids. Pointless information. But one thing I used to speak about was my dreams, and some of you guys actually gave me insight to some of my dreams. And I've actually, I don't know if any of you have seen, I have so much I want to say to you for some reason. I don't know if any of you have ever seen The Good Dinosaur, but there's a scene where the good dinosaur, you can probably find the clip on social media, but there's a scene where he goes to call out to the other dinosaurs and nothing comes, he goes, ah, and that's exactly how it sounds, nothing comes out. So 4 years ago, I used to have this reoccurring nightmare about not being able to be heard. I was trying to talk to my mom and dad, and I was screaming, trying to get something to come out, and nothing was coming out. And then I had I would have these other repetitive dreams about situations with people that I know. And as I've been learning lessons, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, Michelle. I was talking to her about this the other day. As I've been learning my lessons, my dreams are changing, and my dreams are becoming very different. And I'm not used to, I was so used to having those repetitive dreams. I know I've told you guys about one of them where I'm trying to pack my bags. I'm trying to go somewhere. I'm trying to get on a plane. I'm trying to elevate. And I'm more worried about the people who aren't wanting to come with me. And I'm come with me. Let's help me pack. We have to go. And they don't want to come. And then there were strangers that were helping me pack my bags. So, after a few months, I realized what that meant. It sounds clear as day when I'm saying it out loud. But it was symbolic of all those people who I was trying to heal, trying to mend bridges with, trying to, I would love nothing more than the people in my life to want to heal, or those people that were a part of my life to want to heal, but I couldn't force them. And I kept having this nightmare that, I was almost missing the journey myself by waiting for them, by trying to force them into getting on the plane. And you can't force anybody to heal, just like you can't force anybody to get sober. I know that from when I first quit drinking. I thought, here's my chance to, I remember like doing a little bit of an intervention with someone in my life who had a drinking problem, and that went horribly wrong. And that's when I learned that you can't force anyone to heal or quit something that they're not ready to heal or quit. Anyway, long story short, I had the most bizarre dream last night, and I just had to tell you guys about this because I remember yesterday I was talking to you guys about soul purpose, and I was like, that report, which I will talk more about when I'm back from vacation, that report said that one of my special gifts was repairing connections, bringing people together, reconciliation, things like that. And in my dream, I was in a building, and I was at the front of this building, the front desk, front office, whatever it was. It kind of reminded me of a hospital. And I was working the front desk. I was working the front desk. I'm laughing at the memory of this dream. I remember it so vividly too, which I don't remember a lot of my dreams. And there were people at the front who needed assistance or something. And I remember going into a room where there were like 6 or 7 masculines. And I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about like masculines as in counterparts. So whoever's resonating with the masculine counterpart energy. Anyway, I walked into a room of 6 or 7 masculines, and I like yelled out, "We need some masculines out here." Like, I don't know. I don't know what it was about. But I was like calling out to these masculines, we need you. I don't know. Anyway, I know that has something to do with my path. I know that it has something to do with my path and like possibly divine masculines. I don't know what that was about, but I just had to tell you guys because, I found it was interesting. It also reminded me of, this is pointless information. Years and years ago, 8 years ago, my sister wanted me to travel with her. She wanted me to go to Florida. And I was someone who never left my house. I never stopped working. I was like lived under a rock. I was just, anyway. And I didn't want to go, but she convinced me to go. And ever since then, I've been hit by the travel bug. Like, I like to travel now. And I'm so glad that I went on that trip. But I remember we went to a haunted house. This is what it reminded me of. We went to a haunted house, and I was so afraid. I am such a baby. Like, I sleep with the lamp on. I'll admit it. I'll admit it to you, my friends, my besties. I sleep with a lamp on. I always have. I probably always will. Anyway, I remember walking through this haunted house, and I was so scared. And I was married, and she was married, but we were there alone, just the two of us. And I remember yelling out, "I need a man," like for protection or something. Anyway, I don't know. It was a weird dream. I need some masculines up in here. Or I need some masculines out here. I don't know if they were the feminines were the ones at the front desk. Like, where's my person? Anyway, it gave me a laugh this morning when I woke up and journaled about it. Anyway, so you could be getting messages through dreams. The fact that I'm talking about that. Soul tribe reading. You guys know me. I'm going to ramble on for at least 10 minutes. But anyway, I wanted to take a break from that grief book, for today, The Grief and Healing. I love that deck. I could sit there all day and read that deck. I am very much into the healing journey, like I said, and being an inspiration to others. But this morning I grabbed this inner child deck, which I believe I was going to grab last week or the other day before I got that new deck. So let's see what your inner child needs to hear today. And then we're going to read the 7th chapter. Let's see what that chapter is about. I had a tower moment earlier where everything on my desk fell over and made a big boom. 7 psychological biases that are making you resist your own growth. So that's what we're going to read after we read a few of the inner child healing cards. Again, inner child healing is so important. It's worth it. Is it hard? Yes. Everything about healing is worth it. Healing is messy. Healing is not easy. It's easier to live in the darkness. It's easier to deny healing. It's easier to live in ignorance, is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing take the path less trodden. Anyway, I know for a fact in my family, I am like the only person, and I say that with, I know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with my cousins because I don't know anything about my cousins, but I know that in my immediate family, I'm the first one to ever, want to heal. I'm the first one to ever become sober. It means a lot to me. It's not easy. So inner child healing, let's go, my friends. Let's go. What do we need to hear? Soul tribe reading. What do we need to hear? There is hope ahead. There is hope ahead. Have courage and take heart, for there is hope. And I'm seeing, I'm hearing that. Is it Lord of the Rings? I have a tattoo. I know I'm so cool. I don't call myself a loser anymore. I replace it with words like I am so freaking cool. I have "There's always hope" tattooed on my forearm, my inner forearm, whatever that part of your body is called. Specifically from Lord of the Rings. It's a Lord of the Rings quote. There is hope. There is hope ahead. 35 could be symbolic. I feel like I see 35 a lot in our readings. 35. Do I have the right book? Yes. Life is a journey filled with many highs and lows. Sometimes a low can be followed by another and another until all that is remembered are all the low places. It is at these times that it may seem that there is nothing left to hope for, and all that remains are the ashes of what once was. If you have pulled this card, know that there is hope once more. Now is the time to let hope in. There is so much good waiting for you ahead. There is a deep and divine love that is always present and always waiting to wrap you in its arms. You are held. You are loved. You are never ever alone. Reach out today unto the divine and be held by love. I have to say, I used to read stuff like that, and I'd be like, held by the divine, like held by spirit. What are you talking about? And I felt like that kind of support, that kind of comfort only came in the 3D from other humans. And that's, I'm drooling again. That's actually not the truth. I feel more supported now. And I would say that I'm the most alone that I've ever been. And I feel the most supported that I've ever felt by the universe, by my higher self, by myself, Not by myself. I meant by myself as a person. I feel supported by Kelly, if that makes sense. Responsive journaling prompt. This is on page 65, which is 11. How does it feel to let hope reside within your heart? Do you feel apprehensive when you think about hope? Hope is a belief in something that has yet to come. Even if we believe that we have no guarantee that what we hope for will arrive, it is far better to let hope into your heart than it is to keep it out. And this tattoo that I got, There Is Always Hope, I got it at a time in my life where I thought that I would never have children. I was being told that I would never have children of my own, or that it would be, almost impossible unless I was rich, and had unlimited wealth. So I got this tattoo. I actually got 2 tattoos. I got one on this shoulder, and it's a quote by Albert Einstein, and it says, learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. And then the other one says, there is always hope. And I got it tattooed on myself as a reminder to never give up on the things that you feel you're destined for or are meant for you. And I feel called to tell you that if you feel like it's destined for you, it's because you already have it in some timeline. It already belongs to you, is what I'm hearing. Anyway, this tattoo right there is a reminder to me that at one point I was told that I might never be able to have kids. And now I have 4 children, like, and they're not just like babies, they're grown. I've watched them grow. A couple of them are turning into little teenagers, and it's just validation for me, confirmation that you should never give up hope. And when I first started my channel, that was like, people called me the Hope Reaper. People called me the Hope Reaper, and I loved it. Anyway. So let's keep going. So there is hope ahead. If you're feeling hopeless, that will pass. This too shall pass, I'm hearing. Hope will return. We have go inward. It's time to reconnect with your inner child. So maybe you're supposed to be connecting with some dreams or some, hobbies that you had as a child or that your inner child wants you to be doing. For some reason, I'm feeling called of the example of like when people used to get, it hasn't happened to me in a while, but people used to get triggered by my happiness and my light. And it came from a place of my inner child kind of glowing. And I would say that's just your inner child wanting to come out and play, So maybe your inner child is, remember that card we had yesterday about seeing someone, if you admire something in someone, it's because deep down you have that within you, or deep down your inner child wants you to embody that, I'm hearing. Anyway, go inward. This is also 16, which is Tower energy. Go inward. One powerful way to connect with your inner child can be through visualization. This is the practice of seeing your mind. This is the practice of seeing with your mind's eye while your physical eyes are closed. This practice can be a bit tricky for some in the beginning, so if you've never tried working with visualization, do not worry if it is a slow process. You will get there in the end. And I believe that we've talked about visualizing going back in time and like scooping up your inner child, taking their hand, going to a tower moment in your childhood, and sitting down. Visualize it. Sit down next to your inner child. Tell them it's going to be okay. For me, there was like this memory where my dad was really like, I think he was yelling at me, calling me names. I think I was only 5. And I remember in my visualization sitting down on the floor next to myself, and as my dad was like, meh, 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 I was in my inner child's ear saying, what he's saying has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with him. You're amazing. You're not a baby. You're just a 5-year-old little child. It can really be healing. In this exercise, focus on allowing your inner child to come through in your mind's eye. Find a quiet place where you can sit or lie down comfortably with minimal distractions. Once you are ready and your eyes are closed, allow your focus to travel inwards towards your center. As you allow your focus to drift inward, your inner child will slowly come to you. Once they do, let them be as they are, even if there are aspects of them that you would like to change. Embrace them, listen to whatever they have to say, and shower them with love and affection. If you are struggling to turn your focus within yourself, the Becoming Aware Body Scan exercise on page 11 can help guide you. Okay, so I'm going to have to go read that. What feelings arise for you when you talk to or visualize your inner child? Do you feel love and joy, apprehension, or anxiety? Ask yourself why you might feel this way whenever you meet with your inner child. And I have to tell you, when I was telling you about that memory, I was feeling anxiousness on my heart. I found that when I would connect with my inner child, it was always anxiety for a long time. And then, what is that? Oh, it's a tractor. I don't live in farmland. There's like an orange down-to-earth tractor out there. I don't know where it came from. It's driving down the street. I've never seen it. I've seen people on lawnmowers, but not a tractor like that. Digging deep could be symbolic, digging deep into your childhood wounding, I'm hearing. Anyway, as I did these exercises, I started to feel more love and affection towards my inner child. An affirmation just popped down about I love reflecting about, I love spending time by myself reflecting on healing or reflecting on my life. That was the affirmation. So page 11, I just feel the need to, I think that, you know what? I think we've read this, but I'm going to read it again. You can skip ahead, a minute if you don't want to hear it. But if you have a hard time centering yourself, I want to read this to you. In a comfortable place, close your eyes and bring your focus to your physical body. During this exercise, you may experience strong sensations in your body, no sensations in your body, or sensations that fall somewhere in between these extremes. All of these responses are normal. The purpose of this practice is to connect with your unique body. With your eyes closed, bring your awareness to the inside of your body. Imagine what the space inside your head feels like, and imagine opening your eyes to the inside of your head and looking around. What do you see? How does your head feel? Now that your gaze is focused inward on your body, take a few deep breaths, relaxing with each exhale. Practice bringing awareness once again to the top of your head. Does it feel heavy or light, tense or relaxed? Can you attribute any of the sensations to an emotion? Now, note how this area of your body feels. The move downward, stopping at each area as you go along, the throat, shoulders, chest, arms, and so forth. So I just wanted to read that to you. Let's keep going. Childhood healing, let's keep going. Find your haven. That was on the very bottom of the deck when we first started. There is a place of wonder just waiting for you. Find your haven. That's not the right book. 13. As children, we sought out secret places that were hidden and special. We found them while climbing up a tree or lying in the tall grass. We built forts of pillows and sheets, tents and sticks and branches, homes of imagination and magic. We strung up fairy lights and collected trinkets and treasured our special place. We read our stories there and ate our forbidden treats there. It was a place all our own. If you have pulled this card, it might be time to find a hideaway once again. Before you begin to consider where this special place might be, first connect with the adventurous aspect of your inner child. Remember what it felt like when you stumbled upon those hidden places, how it hummed with its own magical energy just for you. Now, once you hold this feeling inside of you, let your intuition guide you to where you might connect with this energy again as an adult. If as a child you were unable to experience the magic of a hideaway, then the following practice might be beneficial. First, reflect on aspects of life that bring you wonder. Next, take steps to incorporate these aspects into a physical place that will embody that wonder. If you cannot recall that which brings you wonder, reflect on what makes you feel safe and take steps to create that space for yourself today. What magical things can you bring into your life today? Let your imagination run free with the possibilities. There are no limit on our dreams. And we'll get one more from this deck and then we'll go to the book. Actually, what I might do is I might get you a few tarot cards. We'll see. We have speak to yourself with kindness. Become aware of how you speak to yourself. And I believe that we've had this card before, but I'm going to read it again because that message never gets old. Be careful about how you speak to yourself. I know that I've talked to you guys about changing the narrative, changing the negative thought patterns, changing the negative things. If you say something negative to yourself, like I said, did I say it in this reading? Oh yeah, instead of saying I'm such a nerd, I was like, I'm super freaking cool. The stories we tell ourselves can create the patterns by which we live. In our daily lives, the words we choose to speak to ourselves can deeply influence how we think and act. We are often unaware of how critical our self-talk can be and how often we engage in it. If you have pulled this card, it may be time to review your self-talk. If you are currently in a place of negative self-talk, this practice will focus on becoming aware of the negative self-talk as it occurs. During this exercise, ask yourself, am I speaking to myself with love right now when you are reviewing your self-talk? It can be helpful to use an object such as a piece of jewelry, as a physical reminder to speak to yourself kindly. An object of high value can be even more beneficial, particularly if your negative self-talk focuses on the idea of lack of personal worth. If you can, choose an item of value and importance for this exercise. You are worth it. Once you have your object, practice becoming more aware of your self-talk. At the beginning of each day, set an intention to be aware of how you speak to yourself. Throughout the day, as you notice a negative thought, touch your object and remember that you are worthy of positive and hopeful self-talk. Whatever negative thoughts you had, speak the opposite to yourself or out loud. Practice this as many times as you can throughout the day. If you feel like you need an extra dose of positive self-talk, think about 3 to 5 uplifting, affirming things you like about yourself. We've definitely done this because I told you guys to leave it in the comment section. So can you do it again? 3 to 5 things you like about yourself. Where was I? Write them down and place them somewhere you can easily see them. Say them to yourself or aloud every time you see the note. How do you feel when you speak to yourself with love and kindness? How does your inner child feel when they hear those words? Try writing down how you feel at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week. Do you notice a difference after completing this practice? So I'm just going to get David K sent me this deck. Thank you. David, you also send me donations through PayPal, so thank you for those. I always see them come through. With the way that PayPal works, I can't actually respond to you. That's why whenever I see you comment, I try and like your comment or comment back or reply to you. But he sent me this deck, the Cozy Witch Tarot deck, and they just have little lines of text. So I just wanted to see what you need to hear today. So Soul Tribe reading. What do you need to hear today, my friend? About healing or life in general. What do you need to hear? We have the Emperor. Being the authority of your own life comes with a lot of responsibility. And I was just saying about how when you heal and you stabilize your life, sometimes, you lose people. I was saying I'm the most alone I've ever been, but I'm the most happy. So being the authority of your own life comes with a lot of responsibility. Emperor energy. And we have King of Wands, beautiful. Lots of masculine energy. I'm hearing know your worth. Know your worth. Know your worth, know your worth. We have 10 of Swords, hurt people. So maybe it's about learning that, the people who have hurt you in the past are just hurt people themselves. It makes it easier to forgive and release when you know that hurt people, they're coming from a hurt place. Just like I know my parents were coming from a hurt place. Hurt people, and that's why it's so important to break the cycle. 10 of Swords. It's why it's so important to break the cycle so that you don't hurt people, so that your children don't experience the same thing you did, or your next partner doesn't experience the same thing, if that makes sense. Breaking the cycle. King of Wands, shine your inner candlelight bright enough for others to follow. And we were talking about that yesterday, shining your light, inspiring others. Others will piggyback off of that light. Let's just get a few more. And you could feel like you're cursed. You could feel like you're cursed, like you're always running across the same type of person who's trying to teach you the same type of lesson. Break the cycle, I'm hearing. It's not a curse. If you look at this, she's looking like she's cursed. She can escape. There's a ladder right outside her window. She can climb and get down. Break the cycle, I'm hearing. Let's just get one more. Okay, 2 more. The Star, have faith that healing is in the forecast. And we see a dove or a pigeon in that puddle, so could be symbolic of harmony and peace coming. And remember your very first card, there is always hope, or there is hope ahead, whatever that said. 4 of Pentacles, treat yourself to something shiny every now and again. Gift yourself. Remember that that card about the inner child and about giving yourself something of value. Anyway, interesting. All right, so we're going to go into the book now, guys, and then I have affirmation cards to get for us. Big sigh. I don't know why I had a big sigh. Maybe you just had a big sigh. So we're on page 55. Look at us. Look at us go. Let me just move. I've got too much in my elbow space. And that, you know what happens when I have too much around my elbows. Crashes begin to happen. So, 7 psychological biases that are making you resist your own growth. Growth is hard. Sometimes it's downright terrifying. It requires us to take an honest look at ourselves, to abandon what we've known, and to suspend ourselves in uncertainty, hanged man energy, without knowing when we'll ever find the next step. What this means is that we will remain what we have always been unless we consciously choose to become something else. Sure, everyone evolves and adapts over time, but if you aren't intentional about it, you'll end up a product of who and what is around you as opposed to an authentic expression of who you really are. Growth is a required assignment. The only question is when we do it and how long it takes for us to realize that we often have to defy some of our instincts in order to create a better reality for ourselves. And I was hearing sometimes you have to defy people too. I was hearing family specifically. Here are a few of those unconscious fears that prevent us from becoming all that we possibly can be, and how they might be specifically affecting you. Number 1, you have become comfortable being uncomfortable. In the same way that too much of a decadent dessert can overwhelm the taste buds and become unappealing, we reject intense emotional highs when we aren't used to them. Gay Hendricks, author of The Big Leap, calls this hitting this your Gay Hendricks, author of The Big Leap, calls this hitting this your upper limit. Doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. His theory is that people have a predisposed tolerance for happiness, and when our emotions exceed that limit, we begin to unconsciously self-sabotage in order to bring ourselves back to our more comfortable baseline. Any change, no matter how positive, will be uncomfortable until it is also familiar. Anytime you're looking to make significant positive change in your life, a mindset shift must accompany it. If you don't believe you deserve to feel good, you'll limit your capacity for experiencing good things. If you're not used to life being easy, you'll make it hard to anchor yourself back down. You'll make it hard to anchor yourself back down to what you're familiar with. Overcoming this is not a matter of overwhelming your system with positivity. It's actually a process of grounding yourself, expressing gratitude, shifting your belief system to reflect the idea that you are allowed to feel good, you are allowed to create goodness in your life, and you deserve the beautiful things that are blossoming. You don't need to keep uprooting them. You don't know all of your... Number 2, you don't know all of your options yet. The human mind cannot accurately predict what isn't yet known. When you imagine a potential outcome of your life, what you're really envisioning is a solution to a past experience, a feeling you've had before and would like to maintain. What you cannot account for are the things that you wouldn't think to ask for, because you don't know what you want them. You don't know that you want them. Sorry, guys. I shouldn't be apologizing. I'm dyslexic and I'm doing great. Like when I think about how far I've come, I'm doing really well with this. Real growth requires genuine exploration, a period of trial and error. It requires you to first admit that you might not know what you want. This uncertainty is an unnerving experience, so most people avoid it completely. They numb out their fear of the unknown with mind-consuming activities, failing to realize that without allowing oneself to accept the unknown, the answers will always remain at bay. Instead of trying to construct an experience of happiness We can find it in the moment if we're gearing our mindset to appreciating what we already have instead of planning how to acquire what we don't. Through this, we inch closer to what it is that actually makes us feel best, not what appears best or should be right from the outside looking in. Number 3, you believe that negative potential outcomes are more likely than positive ones. Yes, my whole comment section on YouTube, not my whole comment section. Let's be honest, like 15% of my comment section believe in the negative outcome before the positive. When you imagine all of the positive outcomes in your life, the negative options probably seem more real than the positive ones. This is because of negativity bias, which is where we are inclined to believe that bad things are more real than the good things because we're more afraid of them. Because one appears as a threat and the other doesn't, our attention naturally gravitates towards what we feel we need to be more aware of. However, it has the opposite effect of self-defense. When we believe too much in our negative biases, we end up resisting change, taking fewer chances, and overall adjusting to a less optimistic outlook on life. Negativity bias limits us not because we aren't able to be realistic, but because we don't understand that positive outcomes are often more likely than worst-case scenarios. They just aren't as emotionally triggering. Number 4, you're staying loyal to what you've put a lot of time into, even if it's not what's really meant for you long-term. You're most inclined to stick with what you've invested in the most, even if it's unviable long-term, even if a better opportunity is presenting itself. This is because of sinking cost fallacy. What this bias prevents us from seeing is that the ship is sinking anyway, and every additional ounce of effort, time, or resource that we put into it is yet another bit that we lose. We can't salvage it because we've spent so much. We can't salvage it just because we've spent so much time believing in it. Sometimes even the things we've given everything to are just not oh my gosh, why am I having such a hard time speaking? Are just not what's best for us long term. It's hard to let go, but it's harder not to. Number 5, you are giving precedence to what you believed first. The brain tends to prioritize and overvalue whatever it is that we did, knew, saw, or learned first. This makes it hard for us to change course. Your very first approach and assessment of your career prospects are anchoring what you believe is possible today. Your very first introduction to a certain geographical area or type of people is likely the same way. Whatever you were exposed to first or believed in first is going to take precedence in your mind. It's important that you're aware of this because when a better option presents itself, you have to be able to see it for what it is. Number 6, you're making a long-term assessment based on short-term experience. When you declare that you'll never find love just because you went through a breakup, or consider yourself fundamentally awful looking because you're not loving your outfit today, or you're sinking in the feeling that you'll never find your way in life because you feel so lost right now, what you're doing is extrapolating. Extrapolation is the projection of a single experience into a long-term assumption about life. I feel like this one's really important. This moment is not your life. This is a moment in your life, a quote by Ryan Holiday. What you're not realizing is that just because you're temporarily having a negative experience does not mean that it will define the rest of your life in the way that you fear it will. I'm just going to go to the next part. What you're really saying is that you can't see a way out of your current circumstance because in some way you don't completely control it or them. Circumstances control them. Instead of trying to form a definitive statement about how life is or isn't or will or won't be based on your temporary circumstances, try to see them for what they really are, an experience you're having currently that will eventually fade out as all others do. Remember, this too shall pass. I'm saying that. It's not in the book. 7, you're using self-reflection as an escape mechanism rather than a way to actually change your life. When we begin something new in our lives, it's almost always because we have a revelation about it, about ourselves. We realize that we need to course correct. We have an aha moment about the people we want to be. We let go of what's holding us back. We find courage and we embark upon our new path. This is often where people find themselves in a slump. I need to lift this up a bit. While many people think the process of releasing the past and embracing the future is scary, it's also freeing. So freeing, in fact, that the high of having epiphanies and life-changing realizations can sometimes eclipse the actual implementation, I'm not saying that right at all, of them. The more I look at a word, the less it makes sense to me. If somebody told me to say that word, I could probably say it without looking at it. Do you know what I mean? The honest truth is that no matter what you choose to be or do in life, to do it well and long term, everything will become boring and monotonous at some point or another. That's sometimes the reality of life. While you'll undoubtedly feel more peace and fulfillment pursuing what's really right for you, you're going to have down days. You're going to have periods of burnout. You're going to have moments of second-guessing yourself. And you're absolutely going to realize that it's often far more exciting and thrilling to decide to totally uproot and start again than it is to simply stick with the path day in and day out. So that's what we have for today. The next message that we have coming through, let me find my bookmark, is everything that's truly right for you will make you feel at peace. So that's what we'll read tomorrow. Everything that's truly meant for you will make you feel at peace. And we'll just get these affirmations that I was going to get for you. So, what do my friends, what does my soul tribe need to hear today? What do you need to hear today? Affirmations. I started watching a movie this morning while I was on the treadmill. She's All That. I haven't watched that in a few years. I remember I watched it when... Oh, I know why I'm talking about this. I'm like, why am I talking about this? I was just going to say I watched it when I first awakened, when I first started healing. And I started watching all of the movies and listening to the music that I listened to when I was younger, when I was a teenager. So She's All That, Freddie Prinze Jr. Was a movie that I watched when I was younger. So I watched that movie when I was doing like my inner child work. Interesting. And then, this morning while I was treadmilling on the treadmill, I was going to put on something different, and for some reason I was called to put on that movie, so I don't know why I'm telling you that. I trust the intelligence within me. There are no problems that I do not have a solution for. There are no questions without answers. The moment I am willing to change, it is amazing how the universe brings me what I need. I trust myself and the process of life. The past is part of the richness and fullness of my life. Without my past, mistakes and all, I would not be here today. I love myself for my willingness to learn and grow. The moment I say positive affirmations, I step out of the victim role. I am no longer helpless. I acknowledge my own power. Beautiful. I am totally in charge of my life. I love it. As I learn to love myself, I become powerful. I do not need to wait until I become perfect before I love myself. Loving myself is the quickest way to create a wonderful life. I always tell you guys, I spent way too much of my time hating myself. Like, what a waste of my energy. I look for things to be thankful for. I have a perpetual attitude of gratitude. I am content to be who and what I am. So I'm going to leave it there, my friends. I'm sending you lots of love and light. Thank you again for reading with me. Thank you for being here and sharing your energy with me. Thank you for all the beautiful comments and the spiritual support, Anyway, thanks for listening to me talk about my dream. I'm sending you guys lots of love and light. I have nothing but love and respect and admiration for all of you. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. 2 more days until I go away, and then I won't be able to talk to you for 2 weeks. Anyway, when I get home, I'm going to be so ready for a soul tribe reading. I know it. I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Take care of yourself.